little mini case study. Second part of that, again, pause it so you can read it for yourselves. And a final part, again, pause it as necessary and read it for yourselves. So forgetting, so we've talked about remembering, and then obviously, you know, the brain has gone through the effort of bringing that memory and the ideas from the sensory memory, short-term memory, into long-term memory. What goes on when it has gotten that far and then is lost? So one important area of memory research involves the question of why people forget. If we say that the long-term memory is unlimited capacity, how is it lost? So when information is placed in long-term memory, it tends to stay there. However, it may be difficult to retrieve. How do we unzip that file? In some cases, individuals forget things because memory links decay over time, often because they're not used. So forgetting also occurs due to interference. As additional information is learned, it displaces the earlier information. So two types of interference have been acknowledged. One is proactive interference, and the other is retroactive interference. Let's make that bold. So material learned prior to the new material interferes with that learning. So there may be overlap, it may have a similarity, and it causes some confusion. And then retroactive interference is that new material presented after the old material has been learned interferes. So the memory of our brand that we're trying to have lodged in the long-term memory, we succeeded in getting it there, but then it's the stuff that comes in after has caused that interference. Whereas the proactive is that our brand information is not making it there because of what's already in there. So it's whether the memory you're trying to create in the customer is the new one or the old one getting influenced by the opposite. So forgetting, which results from proactive and retroactive interference, can create problems for marketers. And obviously, with brands in similar categories of products, we can see how that interference might happen. With both, the problem is that similarity of the old and new information. If consumers receive a series of ads for their products in which similar types of claims are made, especially FMCGs, confusion will result, and then learning is impeded. Research on interference suggests that confusion grows proportionately to the degree that the competing ads involve similar types of products, or that differing products use similar adjectives to describe their performance. So if marketers want to obtain rapid awareness of a product, a high frequency of ads, so again, we're laying down those pathways, making them concrete, the more we stimulate that impulse that lays down that protective layer. So over a short period of time, that's what's most effective. Rapid forgetting, however, can occur immediately after that burst of ads. So we might have a strong burst for maybe a month, and where our brand is everywhere, and then not doing it at all. If the goal is to build long-term awareness of the brand, the ads should be scheduled so that the ads are seen by consumers regularly over a long period of time. So every now and again, we get that repair of that road to make sure it's still, there's no cracks appearing in that concrete that we've laid down. To maintain awareness, marketers will often combine the approaches and use high-intensity campaign to bring out the product and then regularly schedule the ad after introduction. So it could be high intensity for 1 month and then very low intensity over a very long period of time. So we've formed the memory, we've gotten the information into that long-term memory. We've laid down the pathway by that repetition, that constant repetition at the start, and that has helped push out interference as well. And then all we need to do is just maintain our road. Just every now and again, we do reminder campaigns to keep a surface protected. Okay, so that's the end of this topic. So there are long case studies at the end of the chapter. There is a PDF on the Moodle page that you can see. So one is learning about consumer rights, Consumer Association of Ireland, and the other PDF is, sorry, they're within the same PDF, but the other case study is Blackrock Castle Observatory, Making Learning Fun. So there are two longer little case studies. As always, there's some questions that are potential exam questions. So any of these could appear on the exam for your topic, for this topic. And for your study, what you should do is actually practice. So get a notebook, hard copy, hardback notebook, and do your study by handwriting sample answers out. If your exam is paper-based, your study should be paper-based, especially practice writing out questions. So question 1, what basic elements must be present for learning to occur? So that would likely be a very short question, 10 marks or less. Question 2, how can the principles of cognitive learning theory be applied to consumer behavior? So you need to go back and reread the notes and then answer that question. That is likely to be a 20-mark question. So 20 minutes that you would spend on it in the exam situation, and possibly a page to a page of writing. Question 3, compare and contrast 3 main approaches to behavioral learning. So if the question has a specific number that they're looking for, you need to make sure, so the marks are going to be allocated accordingly. So there could be, I would say, it's probably altogether going to be perhaps something like a 20-mark question, could even be a 30-mark question. 30 would divide evenly, 10 for each, 10 marks for each approach that you discuss. There's no point in discussing 4 approaches. And if you only discuss 2 approaches, you've lost a third of the marks. So if it was a 20-mark question, for example, it could be 6 marks per approach and then 2 marks for the overall question, sort of how it's written and so on, how it comes together. Discretionary marks, basically. Question 4, what 3, again, it's a number asked. 3 types of memory have been proposed. How do they differ? The marks could be unevenly distributed if there's more marks, more to write about one or other of the, same with the previous question. If some of the parts are more difficult, containing more information, then they could have different marks allocated. Again, if you leave out one of the types or 2 of the types and you only focus your answer on one, then you've lost the marks that could have been gained for the others. So number 5, then, how do marketers measure consumer learning? So you can see, go back to that slide again. That could be a short or long question. So look at how many marks are going for it to determine how much detail to give. And number 6, why does forgetting occur? So again, go back over that. That's likely to be a short answer, but again, look at the number of marks going for it and plan accordingly. Okay, that's the end of another topic that you're more than halfway there now to being able to complete an exam in this topic. Thank you.